Hey guys, welcome to Chaparral Motorsports. Today we're out testing a true 50/50 tire. If the Hideout K60 Scout had a competitor, this Mitas E07 and E07 Plus would probably be that tire. The Mitas tire here that we're looking at today is the E07 Plus. This is a newer tire in the Mitas lineup. The tread pattern is very similar to the E07. It's just slightly staggered or further apart. You're going to see larger voids in the tread block. The tread compound is a little bit different, and the carcass of the tire is a little bit more robust as well. Now, I personally have never run a Mitas or a Mitas tire. I haven't had access to them to date. It's been a very difficult tire to get here in the US, and that's probably why more people aren't running them on their machines. Again, these guys are a direct competitor to the Hideout K60 Scout. Both of these tires are tires that you can mount on your motorcycle, ride to Alaska, come back, and still have more tread on these tires to complete out your riding season. It really is a phenomenal tire when you look at the amount of value you get per mile. At least that's what I've been told. Like I said, I have not personally run these tires yet, but I'm really excited to get them out into the dirt and up into the mountains to see how well they do both dirt and street. Now, if you ride primarily off-road and you don't really care about on-road characteristics, you should probably tune in to our next tire video following this one. That's going to be the Mitas E10 tire. That's going to be a 70% dirt, 30% street tire, and for that particular tire, we're running the Dakar version. So it's going to be a very robust tire made specifically for big bikes and other adventure touring motorcycles. All right, so today we're running 30 PSI front and rear. We're going to have all trash control turned off. All right, so rolling out of the driveway, I can tell you that these tires feel really round. Take a look at this picture of the E07 Plus and the E10 Dakar side by side. You can see that the E07 Plus has a much rounder profile than that of the E10. But there is one thing for sure, these tires really need to get broken in. Let's do it quickly over here in the rock pile. Ooh. So all tires from the factory need to get scrubbed in. That's a very important thing. So basically you have a nice smooth rubber surface that is slippery. So far I found in the parking lot that these are quite a bit slippery as compared to some of the other tires that I've run. So I'm excited to get these tires out to the sand wash to get them scrubbed in appropriately so we can safely test their abilities up there in the canyon. So the first thing we're looking at is the rain groove cement. Let's look at the bars. The bars seem nice and stable. We're doing 75 miles an hour here. So this is about the speed that we normally have issues from tires that are rain groove phobic. That don't like rain grooves at all. A lot of 50/50 tires struggle on rain grooves. That is absolutely for sure. This E07 Plus up here in the front is doing a good job. Feels nice and planted, nice and stable. For as round as the tire is, the breakover isn't really as fast as I thought it would be. Alright, now it's time to jump off into the dirt. Get these things scrubbed in. Whoa! Not what I expected. I'm getting a lot more wiggle from the back end than I anticipated, or that I thought I would be getting from this tire. Pretty surprising. So it's those side lugs that I saw when I was giving you guys that intro that made me think that I would not be getting that side wiggle back and forth. But take a look at that rear cam. I twist the throttle and that tire just steps out sideways. Pretty interesting. Now coming to brake, dude, these tires are definitely braking better than some of the more recent tires that we've been running down here. Those other tires took a really long time to stop. I don't know why. Alright, I'm getting pretty good drive forward, but a little bit sketchier again than I would have thought. I wouldn't have thought that I would be getting this much wiggle. Sidewinder action from these tires. Maybe that's I don't know. Maybe it's a direct correlation with that V tread pattern. Whoa, did you see that? Whoa, all over the place, guys. All over the place. We got some good, it looks like we got good speed. We got good wheel spin in the back. Pretty good. Just as I say, pretty good. All right. In my attempt to get a donut right here, I started to slide sideways, got some really good grip at one point in time, shot me forward, then the front tire hit that deep section right there and washed right out. Let's give it a shot again. Round two. Oh, don't do it again. Let's take a look. That front tire, weird. It's having a pushing effect that I was not having on the other tires I've been on. So an online friend of mine named Ian, when I posted about these tires this morning, suggested that he recommends guys run the E07 Plus in the rear and the E10 up front. The reason is he says that that front tire pushes a lot. I didn't see it when I looked at the tread, but from the results I'm getting out here in the sand, I can definitely feel it. So the forward propulsion that I'm getting once this tire gets traction is pretty great. I'm definitely feeling some pressure being put back on my arms as I accelerate this thing once it does have mad traction. Oh, here we go, hill climb. Ready? There we go for the little hill climb here, guys. Getting a little bit sideways. Cake, not a problem. Oh. Any moisture that was in this dirt last week is completely gone now. Let's go see what these things feel like on the rocks. I can already tell you that they feel, I had to stop and check the air pressure. When I mounted these up, they were at 30 psi, but even after the short ride down the highway over to this spot, they felt super hard. So got the tire pressure gauge and checked them and aired them down, and they were a little bit higher than 30, but we were out there on the cement, so should be all right. Whoa, dude, this front end is everywhere, just all over the place. Whew, that's scary. Okay, through the rocks, what do we got? Definitely bouncing. Whoa, when that front tire hits deeper sand, I feel like we're dropping further down into the sand than we have on a lot of the past tires that we've run. It's like I have a good feeling and then it just disappeared. Like just the feeling of the tire being planted just goes away completely and the bike just wants to fall over on its side. Pretty crazy. Tires are bouncing around all over on these rocks. I'm really not getting the super planted feeling that I was expecting. Alright guys, here it is, Old Waterman Canyon. Anyway, Old Waterman Canyon, this is a great road that we like to come up. It has lots of different road services, nice little country back road, some really nice twisty corners, really allows us to see what these tires are going to feel like in more of that adventure touring type setup. Like you see, lots of potholes, tar snakes, uneven road surfaces, just all kinds of stuff to be able to throw these tires through. Ooh, probably saw that in the camera. That back end got a little bit sketchy. So I'm feeling the back end slide out as I'm powering out of these corners here. It's definitely a harder compound rubber than a lot of the other tires that we've run in this segment. Now again, this is a tire that is up there with the Heidenau K60 Scout. They say this tire goes lots and lots of miles, so that rubber compound being just a little bit harder than some of the others out there, it's kind of to be expected. You just got to tone it back a little bit and not push it quite as hard as you do with some of the softer rubber compounds that are out there. Whoa! Sketchy! Did you see that? Man, skipped right out. So these tires leaned all the way over. We're definitely not getting the traction from the rubber compound on these that we've had from some of the other tires that we've ridden. That being said, the grip that I'm getting coming out of corners when the bike is sitting straight up is actually quite good. In that Waterman Canyon area, I definitely had the back end sliding in or sliding out quite a bit. Definitely a feeling that I was getting. I really don't want to push it really hard here on these high speed corners because, you know, it would suck to have that happen up here on a more traveled road. So far on the highway, these actually feel really good. They're not really knobby, they're not giving me any vibration. They have a really nice feel to them. Now the only thing I'd have to say so far that I have not been impressed with is they tend to slide out a little bit more than some of the other tires that we've tested in the same genre of tire. I mean, it is a 50-50 tire, so it's more aggressive for off-road than it is for street. But I'm finding less confidence on the street with this tire than I have felt with some of the other tires with that same type of rating, if you will. Again, I can come around corners and the tire just wants to back in a little bit. I have not had the front tire skip out on me yet, which is a good feeling. But if that did happen, that would not be very fun. Again, we're running this thing with zero traction control, so it's basically straight motor down to the tires through the drivetrain. Our traction is not being subject to computer modulation. Super sideways. I'm really surprised at how loose this tire is feeling in the dirt. I feel like I'm skating all over the place. That is not something that, looking at the tread of this tire, that I would have thought would be happening. Definitely not as grounded of a feeling on this tire as I have felt in some of the other tires in this test. Whoa, sheesh Louise, did you see that squirrel? Oof. Squirrel! If I just look at the throttle, back end goes sideways. Not straight, but sideways, which is an interesting... Oh, you know what? Damn it. It's that V-shaped tread pattern. As I'm putting power to the ground, it's going the way of that tread pattern instead of a straight block that wants to keep digging straight. I didn't even think about that before. Sideways again, right there. You see that? This here is the rockiest part of our trip, and this, I'm telling you, feels exactly like that Heidenau K60 Scout felt. Super, super bumpy on these rocks right here. I'm not feeling a whole lot of sidewall give. I'm not feeling a whole lot of tread give. I feel a very, very hard and robust tire underneath me. Definitely bouncing around all over the place, much more so than I have on many of the other tires we've tested. I'm really disappointed with the side drift that this thing's getting. I mean, it's drifting really well, but it's drifting way too much. For as knobby as those side lugs looked, I was expecting this thing to have a lot more bite here in the corners. Instead, whoa, like that. It just cuts out, like completely cuts sideways. It's almost without warning. It's like you have good traction and then whoo, there it goes. It just left the building. All right, so now we're approaching the little hill climb section that we do up here. top of Marshall Peak. Whoa! Whoa! Look at that view, my friends. Isn't that spectacular? So I'm going to do this as if I were fully loaded. I'm going to go ahead and come down here, kind of with some brakes. This tire's doing a really good job hooking up on this downhill section. Almost better than it does when putting throttle down on these dirt roads. Alright, so now we're doing a second gear run, not from a dead stop, but from a slow start. Not bad. Not bad at all. This tire feels really good on this downhill. A lot better than some of the others that we've done. It really is amazing how good some tires do some things and others excel in other areas. It's a matter of finding the right tire for your specific application. Look at these mountains. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal view. Now it's time to get back down off this mountain to the city so we can finish up this test. Now this is one of my favorite sections of this particular test. It takes us down through some pretty gnarly off-road areas. We get to see some places that were separated by earthquakes and then eroded out from the weather. So I guess in summary, if you're looking for a tire that's going to give you great longevity, it's going to be good in the dirt, and it's going to feel really well on the pavement actually. I didn't notice any noise coming from the tire. I don't know how it will wear in. Maybe after several thousand miles it'll start to get a lot noisier. I don't know. I haven't run this tire ever before in my life. I'm just giving you my feedback from this tire in the first 115 miles or so that I've been on this tire today. Alright, now we're coming down to a section of trail that really surprised me the last time I was out here. I was running the Avon tires. The Trail Rider is a 90% street, 10% dirt, and it conformed over these rocks right here and felt really good. Again, it's phenomenally crazy how different each of these tires perform out here in the exact same terrain. Now we're back out of the mountains onto Highway 18 for some high-speed twisties back down to the valley floor. Well, there you have it, guys. About 145 miles of mixed street, dirt, freeway, gravel roads, craziness out there. And as you can see here, this front tire doesn't look like it's worn at all. We still have all the little nipples here on the front end. The front tire did good. I never felt the front tire itself slide out. I got quite a bit of slide out of the rear when hammering high-speed twisties, but this front end, it stuck like glue. It did a really, really good job. Now, the only place that front tire didn't perform really well was in the deep sand. It wanted to push really, really hard. And down here in the back, I found that we were doing a lot of sidewinder actioning as well. Pretty interesting phenomenon. Because of the way that these lugs are angled, I would have thought that we would have had a lot better straight tracking line, but it was exactly the opposite. While we were going straight, it did really good at pushing me forward and throwing dirt sideways. As soon as you get a little bit of an angle on this tire, it completely backs in. And that's just because it's following the direction of the tread. So this tire, if you want to back in around corners, this thing, dude, you look at the throttle and it pitches sideways. Pretty wild. The side lugs we have here on the side actually did their job. Down in the sand wash, I was trying to do some donuts. I would get in all the way over to the side, and then it would hit these lugs and stand the bike upright. Lots of traction from the side lugs here once you got them into terrain that was deep enough for them to actually make contact. And I think that was a downfall of the tire that I found out there, is that when you're on those gravel roads, the carcass is super hard, the tread itself is really hard, and because it's so round, you're really not running on much tire at all when you're out there bouncing off the rocks. So that's the thing I felt with these tires, is in most of the off-road situations that we were in today, it was very rocky. So this tire was kind of bouncing all over the place on top instead of wrapping around and conforming. Now, just like all of the other tire tests that we've done, we're running 30 PSI in the rear and in the front. Now, if I were running this tire personally and it wasn't a regulated test like we're running, I'd probably drop these things down to like 18 PSI in those areas that we ran today, and I think that the result would be much better. But overall, this is a true, honestly, a true 50-50 tire. There's compromise on the street, and there's compromise in the dirt. In the street at high speed, you're gonna feel it pushing on the pavement. In the dirt, you're gonna be able to handle just about everything out there, but it is not a true knobby with a square type pattern. This is something you need to know when you get these tires mounted on the bike and begin to head out. Anyway, that's what I have for you on the Mitas E07 Plus. Phenomenal tire, looks like it's gonna get great mileage if you're looking to head out on a long distance adventure. I'm Kyle Bratch, I'm Chaparral Motorsports. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more action like this coming directly to your inbox, please hit that subscribe button, but more importantly, the notification bell. Until next time, and as always, take care and ride safe out there.